Tesseract is a cooperative game where you are removing cubes from this giant cube here to try and get sets or runs on your own player board to then place them out in the containment zone, and that's how you win. It's a typical action selection style game, but we saw this at Gen Con, and Kurt, the guy from Smirk and Dagger, was telling us, he's like, look, this is one of the most cooperative games I've ever made, where player interaction is very, very high. Like, what you need to do on your turn, well, if you can do that and leave this for me because I need to do this over here because my ability will allow me to change for you.
And use your abilities to help other people's boards, because it's not, again, fully co-op. There is no winner.
There is no winner.
It is just trying to get one of each number in each of the 4 colors before you have enough containment breaches, which is it over there.
So when you are removing cubes from the Tesseract, if you have all the same color or all different colors, and you have either a set or a run, you can then do a containment. So that's a big thing, is in placing it out here, to win the game. But also when you complete rows, like if you get all the ones out here, you will reveal a super special card that you can then use. If you do all of one color you're completed, you'll get to take another die that has been destroyed and put it back onto the cube, because as you remove cubes from here to use your actions on your board, but at the end of every turn, you have to remove the lowest cube. And this plate that on the very bottom, when you remove cubes from the very bottom and you reveal these events that are usually all bad things.
They
sometimes
are all bad. Sometimes they're
really
worse.
bad. Well, I mean, in theory, they could be something that doesn't really happen. What was the one where...
Or I guess if you have to
choose a lab to safeguard, reroll all cubes in each other lab.
So that could be good if all your dice are terrible.
Yeah,
Or you're at a point where well, all of mine are 4s and we have all the 4s, so I don't want them to be 4s. So this is great because now I get to reroll them for free.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, it's bad. It's definitely the timer mechanic of the game is that you keep losing cubes and it's always the lowest. And so since it takes the lowest, well now the next one, the one it just revealed, is most likely the lowest now.
Also, we're talking about numbers. If you look at the symbols on these cubes, they are just 1 through 6. They're just these, I thought whoa, what does all these faces mean? Oh, it's just 1 through 6. But I like that it looks more futuristic.
It definitely
cool,
it looks cool. The game aesthetically is awesome.
This is not a gimmick.
Hypothetically, you don't need any of the spinny thing or any of that. It is nice to let you look at the different...
You need it. Otherwise, you're getting up and you're walking around the table because, this is fragile, man. You don't want to knock anything down. I think this turntable is an essential... this is a hill I'm willing to die on.
But either way, the game aesthetically is really cool, has great table presence. People want to see what... I remember when we saw this at Gen Con, it was I want to go see what that is. Do you see the thing, the spinny thing with the dice in the cube? I want to see that. It does have that, very basic pandemic feel.
You have 3 actions. Here are your available actions.
Take your actions. Here's the ones. You can either do this, or this. But I wouldn't say it's a pandemic-y game. Even though, the core of it is you're trying to, find the cure before all the outbreaks happen, or whatever that happens. It's not at all well, if you have pandemic, you don't need this. Some of the pandemics, it's it's another pandemic game, so if you have pandemic... This is definitely incredibly unique in... how it works, how it's working against you.
I do feel again, what's the term? Not Kingmaker, or alpha gamer, right? You really can't have that in this game. I guess you could, but so much of what is happening, of what needs to happen, is the interaction between different players.
Well, and because it's your ability, but also what you have in your lab is so important. So there's a lot of not fighting over dice, but I could use this dice. Oh, but no, I need that dice for this. Why don't you take that one?
And there actually are a lot more options than you think. You can look out there and be there's nothing for me. It's again, you could have all of the different colors or all the same colors. So if you take I already have I have a yellow and a orange. I could take a blue or a purple to make that a set of different colors. Or, hang on, I could actually just take these 2 oranges that are right here, and also, when you can't just take from anywhere, so you could actually, I'm going to take this first, which is going to reveal this one,
so I can take Mahjong rules, how you have to, unlock the next tile before you can get to it. And because there's a lot of, dice manipulation that you can do, it's I'm going to take the 6 and adjust it twice so it's a 4, or you're going to use your ability on your turn to make it any die, so I'll just hold on to that for now and do this. We haven't even talked about really containment breaches.
Oh, yeah. Because lots of things will put dice into these primed areas, and you just roll them and put them in there. But whenever there's 3 or more of the same number, that is what causes a breach here. And if that happens 7 times, you lose the game. Mm-hmm. When you contain a die, if that same die that you just contained, I did a blue 4, if a blue 4 is out here in the primary, you can burn it completely.
Yeah.
So that will sometimes go to your decision as well. It's like, well, actually, it's going to be worth it for me to take another action to take, instead of getting a purple, I'm going to get those 2 oranges like I just said, because that way I can contain this die, and that will destroy that. So that will get both a containment and a destroy, in the same action.
And those comboing is really important. Again, like using like efficiency in your moves of, I'm going to adjust this over. No, if we leave it, there's a little bit of a risk because there's 2 here, so we could get a breach. But if we don't, or even I guess if you do get a breach, but on the next turn or on your turn, you can get rid of it and get, make sure that you're comboing well.
I'm not the biggest fan of co-op games in general, like in terms of percentage of my collection. It's less than 10%, probably almost 5%, but I am a big fan of co-op systems, like the Pandemic you just brought up. He and I both have all the Pandemics. I really like the Lord of the Rings, Marvel Champions, Arkham Horror system, right? So I have a lot of cards for that. But in terms of just individual co-op games, I don't have a lot. But I feel like this one's like a standalone, unique little blossom, little gem all by itself. Where like I'm not like, ooh, I like this game, I want to have everything for it. Like Legendary, I want to have everything for Legendary because it's a really great co-op system, and the value that I have there is all the different heroes that we can play as and all the different scenarios we can play. This one is just like a really great, like, does Inception need a sequel?
As far as difficulty goes and like variability, the plate here at the bottom that has the events that are revealed is how you adjust the difficulty of the game. So as you get to harder plates, you get more of the worse events.
But actually, I don't think it doesn't bring it from like a 1 difficulty to like a 10 difficulty. I think it goes from like a 7 to a 9 type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, because it's pretty hard even at the base game, I've lost on plate 1 before.
You know what I love about this game in terms of a co-op? Because I love co-op games. I've played a lot of them. What I think this does really well is it's a co-op logic puzzle. Like, it's not just, I'm just going to burn cards until I get the combo I need. It's really, let's look at this as a puzzle and figure out where the pieces need to go. And there's so many things in the game that take dice away that you might need. Like, I need that one. Oh, it's the lowest right now, so we're going to lose it. Or, I want that one, but if I take it, then this one's going to go away and we're going to get a bad event right now, and we don't want that. So I need to figure out another way to make this work. And I think that is what makes this like shine so much. Because you and I have talked about how we both love logic puzzle games. Like, not like puzzle, like, jigsaw puzzles, but
I hate jigsaw puzzles. I love like escape rooms,
Yeah.
So if any of what we were talking about here sounds interesting to you, we're going to put a purchase link to this game in the description box down below. We highly recommend you get yourself a copy. Honestly, this is
the one you need.
This is the best co-op game from Gen Con. Honestly, probably from last year.
Yeah, for a while. Like, I don't have the list of all the co-op games in front of me, but it's been a while since a co-op game has really shined this much for me.
Honestly, I might say since Marvel Champions. That was 2018, maybe? Have I been this excited about a new co-op game?
Definitely click that purchase link to get yourself a copy. Click on the link to Game Toppers. Get your awesome little table topper here to play the game on, so when you're rolling the dice, they don't fall off the table. And then
you got these nice edges. You got these nice play mats. This thing back here, you can't see it, but here, listen to that. What is that? I don't know. Buy it and you'll find out.
Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you'll never be bored.
Bam, 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 bam.
I wanted it to all fall off, but we need to... Are you saying Tesseract is the inception of the board game world?